Hey y'all, hey, it's Raw to the Bone. Well, the last couple of days we've been talking about the George Floyd incident, amongst many other incidents that have happened under the light of police brutality. And I didn't say much in the beginning on my platform because I often find that when things like this happen, we become in a rage and we oftentimes do some of the same things over and over again. And when it's over, nothing changes. So I just sat and I watched my timeline and I listened to what people were saying and I looked at the debates that was going back and forth. And some of the things that I noticed was, there's all cultures. I don't look at one particular culture and go, all white people are this, or all Indian people are that, or all Chinese people are this, or all black people are that. And I do recognize that there are many other cultures outside of the black culture that is standing on the front lines fighting for injustice, and do not agree with police brutality, right? But you have to understand, when I see posts on social media, when I turn on the news and I see what's going on, the outrage from this is not because George Floyd was the first incident. The outrage is because this constantly occurs over and over and over and over and over again, right? And when there was peaceful action taken by Colin Kaepernick, he was condemned, right? And the NFL was threatened. If they follow suit, they might lose their contracts. The NBA, I don't know. Like you try a peaceful protest such as kneeling, and you still get penalized for it, right? And so when this continues to happen, what does anyone expect, right? Now, originally when this incident occurred and, the looting started, I was one of the first people on my timeline or amongst my friends that said, I don't agree with the looting and the going into stores and the burning of your neighborhoods. And I still don't. But I can understand why it's happening. Right? So when I look on my timeline and I see people talk about, oh, I can understand why people are upset that the cop did this, but I don't understand the looting and the burning of their neighborhood. It's one thing not to agree with the burning and the looting of the neighborhood, and it's another thing not to understand it, right? So I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Okay, because essentially what's being communicated is black people can't protest peacefully, right? If they protest peacefully, such as kneeling, then it could affect their jobs, their livelihoods, their reputation, other contracts, their money flow. Okay? Also, peaceful marching, right, as what a lot of this going on is about. You have the instigators, right, that are not always from the black culture, that instigate the violence in the neighborhoods because I feel that they want to see the attack on the black community. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's frightening when you try to go in peacefully and you still get sprayed with mace, you still get locked up and put in jail, you still get penalized for kneeling. But then when you go into neighborhoods, your own neighborhood or other neighborhoods, and you start burning stuff down, breaking windows, stealing stuff, then it's like a shock. How much more can a race take? How much more can the black people take? Okay, now I have a diverse community of associates, but what I would not tolerate is, even within my diverse environment, I will not maintain relationships with people that feel negative about my culture. Okay? And sometimes we don't even realize that we're being negative, right, about somebody else's culture. And let me explain why. I was on a post, and one of the posts, people were going back and forth. I'm not naming any names. And one gentleman who was a white gentleman, he was telling his white counterparts, you guys shouldn't even have anything to say about how these black people are reacting. Okay? You do not live their experience. Okay? You do not know what it's like to go through life worrying about your black son. Right? And that's true, right? So although other cultures sympathize with what the black culture is going through, right? It's nothing like being in that culture and suffering how we're suffering, okay? I am a mother of a 37-year-old black man. And all my years of raising him, I had sleepless nights. I had restless days, okay, because I didn't know at any given time if what happened to, these other black men under police brutality would happen to my son, okay? It is very scary having black children and raising black children and knowing that they would fall under the laws of stop and frisk, racial profiling, police brutality, the list goes on. Okay? We're not saying other cultures don't have their battles and their struggles. But when you turn the news on, really, this man cried for his mother. And I saw a post that said, when he cried for his mother, every mother in the world heard his outrage, his cry. And every mother identified because they identify as if it was their child, right? And the funny thing is, all anybody wants is justice, right? How do police officers get away with brutally harming our black men and women, because we've had some women, and don't go to jail and suffer the same consequences as any other pedestrian, right? That's what we're asking for. And I don't understand how many marches, how many cries, how many dead bodies we got to get to be able to say all we're asking for is justice. Okay? Giving a police officer administrative leave is not enough. Firing him is not enough. Okay? Removing his ability from collecting his pension is not enough. He needs to go through the same process as anybody else when they kill a human being. Point blank, period. This is what we're asking for. There is no reason after an incident like this happens that these police officers should walk away unscathed with conversations with administration. They should be handcuffed and put in the back of their own cars or another co-worker's car and charged sufficiently. I don't know why that's so hard to ask for. It applies to everybody else. Why doesn't it apply to the police administration? Okay? Black people are tired. Okay? That is the bottom line. Black people are tired. Okay? It's everything. The black culture is loved by so many, right? But yet the black people are the ones that are tormented the most. Okay? Simple things. Like, this is a pileup. This is hundreds and hundreds of years of fighting. Peacefully and violently. And very little progress made throughout all these hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay? Do I blame President Trump? No, this has been going on long before Trump. Do I feel that Trump is a part of the problem? Yes. I feel that based on our leadership, okay, things have been escalated and elevated where people are feeling extra comfortable to show the hate that they have against the black culture. And I'm talking about the black culture because, as you can see, that's what I am. I can't speak for the experiences and the hate of other cultures. You see how I did that, y'all? You see how I said I can only speak for the black culture because I'm black and I'm living in that culture every day, naturally, okay? I cannot speak for the experiences of what goes on in another culture. The only thing I can do is look outside of my culture into another culture and go, oh, wow. And study up on that. And if I agree or disagree, I would try to make movements to help that culture in any way that I can based on my contribution to their community. Okay? But I would not be on the front lines voicing my opinion about their culture and their experiences because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to live within their skin. Right? And that's the other point that black people make to other cultures. Okay? Stop making comments that you think is okay, when it isn't. There is a privilege. There is a white privilege out there. Okay? It is plain and it is seen every single day, every moment of the day. Okay? Down the street. Okay? In corporate offices, it's everywhere. And all we're asking for is fair justice. Okay? And I do post, I haven't been posting aggressively on my page about this topic because, again, you know, it's such a sad state of affairs that we're in. Sometimes I just don't know what to say. But I felt it necessary that I come on here and I do a video because I need my followers to know how I feel about the situation. That's all. All right? I mean, the black culture has been under attack for hundreds and hundreds of years. And culture, race, however you want to phrase it, and they're tired. We are tired. Okay, we continue to have kids and we continue to add to the economic growth of this country, but yet we are mistreated by the most in this country. And it's unfortunate and it's sad. But as far as my page is concerned, I want to say that I'm open to all kinds of conversation as long as it's respectful. Okay? And as long as we understand that we all have our opinions. Opinions are like assholes, guys. Y'all know that. Everybody has one. But I do, on my page, ask for a level of respect. Okay? When you're responding, when you're replying, have a level of respect. Understand that people have difference of opinion. But I also ask you not to come on my post and act like you understand the black culture, the black race, if you are not black. Okay? All I'm asking is for your support. Push for better. Move this injustice out of the way and help make sure that, you know, justice is being served. But don't come on the post acting like you can identify and acting like you don't understand the rage. Okay? I posted a question on my page that said, would you care if would you feel the same way if this outrage and this looting was happening in your neighborhood? I never gave my opinion on whether I cared or not, whether it was happening in my neighborhood. I just wanted to see what my followers, you know, said. You know, so my answer to that question is, yes, I would care if it was in my neighborhood, and I would feel bad that it's happening in my neighborhood. It would be the most unfortunate thing. But would I absolutely be disgusted? No. I would perfectly understand why it's happening. And you know, I've seen people say, why Target? Why the corner store? Why this? Why that? I don't know why, because I don't have the answer, but this is my personal answer. If more CEOs of these companies like Target and these little store owners and CEOs of BJ's or stockholders or whatever it is, to Starbucks or whatever companies are in your neighborhood, okay, or in our neighborhood, if these CEOs, okay, and boards stepped forward more and said, listen, we want justice for what has happened. Okay, the people in the community might look at those businesses and go, wait a minute, those businesses are on our side. Okay, but these businesses open in all types of communities, urban communities, suburban communities, in the country, wherever. You have to be mindful of the communities that you're in. And if you see there's wrongful doing in your community, you as an organization, okay, can spin up little task force or little things in your organization that gives back to your community, okay, that could possibly help stand on the front lines and fight for justice, okay. But when you stay silent and you have Black people shopping in your establishments and stores, they're side-eyeing you. They're frustrated, they're angry. And yes, tearing down the stores affects their neighborhood because it eliminates places for them to have retail therapy. But at the time they're angry and they're upset, they're not thinking about that. You're asking people that are in pain, okay, to think rational at the same time. They are just thinking they want to hurt the people that hurt them, right? It's a human emotion. But anyway, I don't, condone or support violence, but I understand the rage. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, I get pissed off sometimes and want to go to fuck off with what's going on. And other times I just sit and I want to cry. We are human beings and we have human emotions. So people have to remember that. So I just wanted to jump on here because, Raw to the Bone, I post a lot of stories. I post a lot of motivational quotes. I do Coffee with Friends in the morning and I do Coffee with Friends Monday through Friday and we talk about topics. Okay. And I played with talking about this topic and I touched on it a little bit, but I didn't go too far because sometimes you just don't know what to say. And also people, I've seen people post, people post things that indicate if they don't see you in an outrage on social media, they're side-eyeing you because they think you don't care. Everyone is not the same. Everyone doesn't have to go on social media and outlay their outrage. They don't. Somebody might have went into their bank account and given money to an organization that's standing on the front lines. Somebody could have wrote a letter to their governor, okay, to their senator, to anybody. You don't know what people are doing behind the lines, so people just be conscious of that. And also, stop fighting. We need to stick together. We need to do better as a people and stick together and stop fighting amongst each other. Right? Because in order for us, we have to unify, right? So, when things like this happen, I see a unification, and then 6 months, a year from now, we kind of forget. We have to remember, right? And we have to keep the same momentum going to make our communities better. Get involved with any little community program. I'm going to look for something that helps us make a change somehow. Right? Because it's a day after the looting. It's more after the violence. We have to keep the movements going, right? And we have to stick together. But that's a word from Raw to the Bone. And, other than that, again, I want to reiterate that I'm asking everyone to respect my page, respect everyone's input, and let's just, agree to disagree on items that, might become heated. Right? Just agree to disagree. It's okay. But in the meantime, in the between time, stay safe, love up on your Black men, and your black children. Educate your black children, okay? When you send your black men and your black adult kids and your black teenagers and your black kids that gotta go out in the street, make sure you tell them you love them, okay? And maybe we need to start incorporating how to teach our kids how to act when they go out in the street. And I know that sounds weird and everything, but I just don't know what the answer is anymore, right? Because even when we're not resisting arrest, we're still dying at the hands of the police. So I don't know, guys. I'm going to be here in my headspace, just like everyone else, because we are society. We are the ones that can make a difference and we can make a change, right? We can't keep looking for others to come in and do that for us. But what is that change? So I think that we all have to start small. In your community, what can you do to make a difference? Like, how can even if you're a small business owner, how can your small business contribute to what's going on in our community? I don't know the answer. I got to do the same research. I got to find the same answers. But I think we all should be researching that and trying to figure that out. Okay? But in the meantime, guys, I'm out. Gone for now, but not gone forever. Raw to the bone.